Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the HG Seravee Gundam, the GN Heavy Weapons Type B version. So, currently, for those who don't know, there are two versions, or technically three versions, of the HG Seravee Gundam. First one is the original or regular version, and then here we have, right now, what you see is the GNHW/B, which, as I mentioned, is the GN Heavy Weapons Type B version. And then there's also the Trans Am version out there. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And recently, for those who don't know, last week I did review the HG Virtue Gundam, and I actually really liked that kid. So, which actually led me to trying out this kid as well. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting and compact build. So, let's get on to the review. So, let's see what we got. So, let's look over components. So, first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the mobile suit itself, the HG Seravee Gundam. And then we also have the folded up version of the Seraphim Gundam. Now, for those who already know or don't know, the one on the back is actually a folded up Gundam. However, in this kit, you don't actually get the actual kit. That's just a folded up molded version. It does not actually transform into the Seraphim Gundam. The good news is that they do actually sell the Seraphim Gundam as retail regularly, and it's actually pretty cheap as well. And you can buy that and also attach it to here. So it's really up to you. But for those who are kind of like don't want to buy two kits, you can always get the Trans Am version, which actually does come with the actual Seraphim Gundam. So yeah. So other than that, we also have a bunch of like GM bazookas or GM beam cannons as well, all over the place. And hand-wise, we only get a set of multi-purpose hands. You do not get any other hands as well. And here are the weapons. Here is the GM Bazooka 2. So compared to the Virtue, the Seravee Gundam actually carries these two bazookas together, and they also have some interesting articulation where you can actually bend this point as well, and the handles do move as well, and you can fold it up inside, and you can also open up the cannon like this. But this is mostly meant for the combination to make to combine the two like this. Now this cannon or this version actually has multiple uses. It can basically fire like a big burst mode, like the same as how the Virtue does, or it can also fire like a GN ball, a beam ball kind of thing going on here. So there's multiple ways that these cannons can be used, and I will be demonstrating those as well. So let me just separate those as well, and let's see what we got. So, and we have this small white piece, which is actually pretty much the action-based whole cover. I'll point that out where it's supposed to go. And here we have the sticker sheet. So here we have the sticker sheet. It may look like a lot, but most of these stickers are going to be pretty much hidden. So I did use all these yellow stickers. These are pretty much used on those canisters on the shoulder and the legs. They pretty much work the same as the way how the Virtue did. You can open those up, reveal, and use the GM shield. Yeah, but I believe the Trans Am version I actually did review did not actually give those stickers because they weren't really supposed to be yellow, and this because of the Trans Am color. But this being the regular version, I assume so, and they gave you the yellow stickers. Here we have the 4 of these that goes onto the cannons on all over the place. Here we have the eye. Here we have the forehead fit sticker for the V-fin area. Here we have the eyes for the back Seraphim Gundam, and then here we have some big yellow circle and square pieces or stickers that are supposed to go on. Like 2 of these circles goes onto the arm. This one actually goes onto the Seraphim Gundam, which I believe isn't going to show that often. Alright, so that's that for the usual components. Let's look at the leftover parts. So let's go over the usual. So we have some leftover polycaps. We have one ball joint polycap, and then here we have another polycap plate, which we do have some leftovers as well. Now here we have some interesting leftover parts as well. These are leftover parts, but these are not originally meant for the Seravee Gundam. These are actually meant for the Seraphim Gundam. So here we have a nice looking GN pistol, and I actually really love this pistol design. Actually, it's a very compact pistol design. There's even a clear piece right over here as well. So this is actually meant for the Seraphim Gundam. So I did actually order a Seraphim Gundam as well. And now here we have some leftover parts. So what these leftover parts are meant for the Seraphim Gundam is to attach those GN heavy weapon canisters. So I believe you can attach the ones on the side skirts. And I think it's the shoulder one that you can attach onto the Seraphim Gundam. So in order to attach those, you do need some extra pegs. So when you're building the Seraphim Gundam, if you want to attach those, when you're building the side skirts, this is what you use. And when you're building the shoulders, you actually add these pieces on to the build as well. So it's kind of your choice to use it. But if you want to attach those are the parts you need. And here are some more leftover parts. This is actually referred more to the now Seravee Gundam. So at first I wasn't really sure what these were, but after doing some research, these are the parts for the original side skirts. Because after the Seravee Gundam goes over the GNHW weapons Type B upgrade, the side skirts are replaced by those cannons. So yeah, these are the original parts. And in order to actually make and use them, you actually do need some extra polycaps right over here to, to actually attach to the side skirt. And these parts, for these ones, I have no idea where they're supposed to go at this point. I know what these parts are for, in general, in terms of the mobile suit, but I'm not seeing any place or parts that do require these, so yeah. Alright, so let's go over the review. So once again, I do not own the previous Seravee Gundam at this point, so there won't be any comparisons as well. So let's go over some articulation. Okay, here we go. So here we have the head. So on the head, obviously, we have a clear piece here, and behind the clear piece is actually a red metallic sticker that you apply onto the V-fin to give that extra shine effect. But technically, I believe if you look at the design of the Seravee Gundam, that clear piece is supposed to be like red in total in general. So if you don't like to use any stickers, I guess you could color that red, the clear piece in red, and still use a sticker from the back, because I believe because the V-fin is yellow, and if you just clear and being clear, and the yellow might pop out a little bit. So yeah. The eyes were the sticker, but the eyes were very smaller than your usual sticker, so it was a little bit tricky to apply, but once I got it, I got it. So it can go down that much and then up that much, and unlike the Virtue Gundam, I have no loose pieces at all, so that's a very good thing. And then 360, since it is on a ball joint, I assume you should be able to go 360, but once again, it's a little bit on the stiff side as well, and the V-fin is about to pop out, so yeah. Alright, now let's get the body. So the only issue I had with the body initially were these yellow pieces. These are separate pieces as well individually, but they kept popping out. So what I had to do was basically glue them on, and now they're there forever. Body wise, there's not much movement going on here. Heck, you don't even get much even a twist or rotation on the main body, because there's just so much stuff going on here, a lot of stuff colliding as well. So I'm just gonna say articulation is not its strengths in this kit. I mean, the articulation is there, but there's just so much stuff going on. It's just pretty much you're not going to be able to move as much as you think. And now looking at the shoulders, we do have your typical ball joint to connection shoulders, so you are able to go forward and backward like that, and then 360 on the entire arm is possible. Now here is one of those clear pieces. So originally you get a clear piece for here, and you are supposed to put a very dark green sticker under it. What I did was I still applied the sticker, but I also colored the clear pieces in with metallic green Gundam marker, and I think I did a pretty good job. It does give that extra nice shining glow effect. Also, while coloring it, I did not color the outside. I actually colored the inside, so the bottom section of the clear piece, so nothing actually gets messy on the outside. So that's what I did. So other than that, we have one of those canisters that allows you to deploy the GM beam shield going on here. Here are those yellow stickers. So we have 4 of these canisters, and each canister takes 2 of these yellow stickers. So you have 8 of those stickers right over here. So we have one, and here we have another one on the leg. There we go. So just wanted to point that out. Now another issue I'm having is that now it's not really an issue. It's just that I would have preferred that if these had a more solid connection. So it is using a whole MPEG system, but when you plug it in, it doesn't really give you a click noise. It's just there. So it is a little bit easy to pop off. But yeah, I haven't actually had a case where it just fell on its own. But still, I would have it's just a feeling. And then other than that, let's see, because of that, we have this part, so it does collide a little bit. So the arms can't go 90 degrees to the side. Of course, you can slightly go more, but still you get the general idea. And then we have a nice bend going on here on the arm. And then we have your ball jointed hand, but also we also have another joint here on the wrist. So you can go up a little bit more if you want to do so. I assume this is pretty much meant for the posing when you attach the cannon on the back here. So I'll demonstrate that later. And before we go to the waist, let's go over the back. Now here we have the back. Now the back can get a little bit messy as well. It's just, there's just so much stuff going on here, so just bear with me. So on the cannon, as far as I know, the black section, this part is all supposed to be there if you buy the regular. The only part that you get added on are these parts. These are supposed to be extra canisters for more GM particles, as far as I know. So they do get in the way with the face as well, but luckily we have a nice articulation going on here that allows you to move side to side as well. And the cannon is actually connected to a peg, so you are able to rotate this left and right as well. And the V-fins right over here, the V-fins are actually the main connecting point here, are actually on ball joints, so you are able to move them freely as much as you want. So which is why you are able to reposition these as well, and I will be demonstrating that later or show you. But also for those who know this, is that there is a Gundam face here, and the way how to reveal it is just to basically slide it down, and there you go. It will reveal the Gundam eyes, and yeah, the eyes are obviously a sticker, but at least the chin and the white section are color separated pieces. So yeah, it's some people might still find this gimmick a little bit goofy as well, but oh well, it's already been done, so what can you say? And if you don't like it, you can always fold it back in and reposition the V-fins to go front like this, because I believe this is how it's supposed to look like when it's not being in use. Alright, and also you can go up and down with the cannons. And since we're on the cannons, let's get the ones on the back. So here we have the cannons that can go up and down as well. They will collide with the back V-fins time to time, just wanted to mention that. And you can see here, once again, I did actually, you do put green, metallic green stickers in there, but you also, after applying the sticker, you also put a a clear piece on top of it. But once again, what I also did was I colored the clear piece on the bottom, and they are giving out a much more nice shining effect as well. So yeah. So now the waist. Well, the waist is pretty much what you see. This is all you see here as well. And I forgot to mention the Seraphim Gundam, the folded up leg area. This part does move as well. They are connected to ball joints as well. So yeah, of course, keep in mind these are just molded in, so this thing does not actually transform. Now the side skirts, so the original side skirts are now replaced by these parts. They are connected to ball joints, but once again, they are going to be facing forward all the time, because there's no space to them for them to actually drop down. So that's one that could be slightly, might be a bad side for you guys, or to some people. It does make the kit a little bit messier as well. And for those who want to know, yes, you are able to, you can pull the down section here to open it up to give out that firing effect. For those who think those are important. And here you might have noticed there's also another hole here as well. So that's actually meant for the Seraphim Gundam. So if you want to attach these, you use the leftover parts on the Seraphim Gundam kit and then attach it with those parts. Just wanted to point that out. So as you can see, since we have one of the cannons out, you can see now how this is going on here. So we have the back section that connects the Seraphim Gundams to the back, and then I believe there's another bottom section that's not exactly connected, but pretty much uses the space in there, which pretty much does not allow the kit to move its waist left and right. So you get the idea at this point. Now the legs. The legs are your typical ball joint connection legs, so there's no side swivel going on here. But of course, with the ball joint, you are able to move side to side slightly, and you are able to not much to go forward. But of course, you can work your way out by moving the cannons here forward and back. Not so much. You're gonna have to move a lot of stuff away. And since these legs, these parts are also cannons, you can also open them up. And once again, same principle. Sticker. I color the clear piece on there to give a more shine effect. So you are able to move it up and down as well. And then this gray piece is also able to move to give you guys more articulation on the cannons as well. So they did. You can see some of these considerations, and you still have your ball jointed feet. And bend wise, you pretty much get more than 90 degrees. But being a really fat Gundam, fat leg Gundam, I don't think it should matter too much. But at least it's there. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. So we've seen the articulation. You can see the articulation is there, but some areas are just pretty much hindered by all those accessories as well. Alright, so we've seen the basics. I'll be right back with some demonstrations of the weapons. Okay, so here's the first demonstration. So basically, I basically aimed all the cannons forwards. I opened up any cannons as possible. So as you can see, holding the GN Bazooka 2 individually is no problem at all. You just need to plug them in into the handle. So you should have no problems actually holding them. You just need to plug them in. So it's a really easy connection. And if there's one thing I forgot to mention is number one is the action-based hole connector. So on the bottom here, there's the hole, but if you want to cover that up, you use that small white piece I mentioned earlier. And for those who may have noticed is that for those who know about the Seraphim Gundam actually has these sub-arms. So originally it had sub-arms, so obviously the ones that were on the side skirts are now no longer available. Or no, actually no. I don't think the sub arms are supposed to actually have 6 beam sabers. So originally you have 2 on each arm, and then you have 2 here, which are on the legs, and then 2 on the top section. I believe the top section is also supposed to have these sub arms. But once again, being an HG kit, I believe the sub arms the gimmick is not there as well. But I believe the 1/100 scale actually has that might have that gimmick, or at least I think. I don't own that kit, but for those who have that kit, do let me know as well. So that's that. And because of, well, but in general, this kit does not come with any beam sabers or beam saber hilts at the first place, so it's a little bit bummer, but I guess that's just the limitations of the HG scale at this time, or at the time, of course. And I forgot to mention that I did bring out the HG Virtue kit that I reviewed last week. Now, of course, granted, it is the Trans Am version. Now, in terms of design, I think I do prefer the Virtue Gundam because it does actually have that more chunky look in general, and it's less messier compared to, you know, the Seravee Gundam. But of course, if you're a guy who likes to have multiple weapons, I guess the Seravee Gundam is your go thing. But still, it really depends on your taste. But once again, I do like both, but if I had to choose, I think I would go with Virtue, but once again, depends on the situation. Alright, so we've seen the basics. Now, I'll be right back with a different pose, and with the cannons combined with the back one. Okay, so here we have the cannons attached to the back ones. They do actually connect, because the way how they connect is, number one, there's actually they have these slight how should I say this, so as you can see, they have this slight teeth, this molding here, where you are able to connect a certain peg piece right over here. So there's a small gap here, and there's actually a peg on the inside on the back of the cannon, so which actually allows you to get a firm connection. And once you have them, what I usually do is basically I connect the cannons onto the back cannons first. I connect the GN bazookas first to the back, and then I try to plug in the hands onto the handle. So usually you're gonna pretty much get one of these poses that's firing up, but once you have it in, you can fiddle it around to, you know, kind of lower the angle if you want to do so. But because of the back cannons, they won't go as, you know, low as you think. And I believe, yes, I also opened up the Gundam face on the back here. Now, the V-fin, moving the V-fin or arranging them into the correct position is a little bit tricky, but still works. Yeah, I think it's just my light. I just changed the batteries on my light, so which is why it's a little bit tricky to get the light correct, because when it's on its most strongest point, it does sometimes mess up the focus. But still, just bear with me. Okay, so we've seen that, so I think there's one thing left to show you guys. And before I go, like, on the GN Bazooka 2, you also get these clear pieces as well. So, here we go. So you can see this green piece here. So originally it's supposed to come in clear, but once again, I also colored them with a green metallic on the marker entirely, because even on the manual or on other promo pictures, they were all colored in green. So that's what I did. Alright, so there's only one thing left to show, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have the final demonstration. So number one, I took off the backpack just to give you guys an idea how the articulation changes on the waist. Before that, here we have the GN Bazooka 2s, both of them being connected, and you can hold it pretty much with one hand. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be hold it with one hand as well. And they do you have these extra handles here, but the manual doesn't really mention how to use them. So at this point, it's really up to your imagination. So if you want to do some interesting poses with using those handles, I guess you could do that as well. And now with everything out from the backpack, here's what I meant. So here, obviously, this hole here with the polycap is the main, well, not, no, so this part does not have the polycap. I was thinking of a different part. So this is the main hole that you connect the Seraphim Gundam backpack onto. So here we have the main backpack right over here. Here we have the main backpack, and then here we have another gap here, which pretty much gives you a stable connection here. But because of this area, which does not allow you to actually move the waist. But now without the backpack, you are able to move the waist left and right as well, I think. And if you go a little bit more, you are able to go 360 if I took off the weapons off as well. So you get the idea. And now here we have the Seraphim Gundam backpack. So here we have the backpack. As you can see, as far as I know, this is how it works. So these parts, the cannons, are supposed to become the arms like this. And then these legs are supposed to, open up and become actual legs. And of course, I believe even in the HG kit, you have a separate head that you need to attach. So I don't think that actually folds in terms of the HG. So yeah, we almost have it, a Seraphim. So I think they did an okay job with the mold. But once again, for those who want to actually have a real Seraphim Gundam, you can always buy that individually. And there is one more sticker, which is basically the head cannon for the large Gundam head. But once again, it's a very dark sticker. It's a really dark green sticker to the point where I don't know why they chose that color, but it's there. And that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, if you're a big fan of the Seravee Gundam, that's definitely this. I guess this kit is a very go-to. But once again, if you buy the GN Heavy Weapons type version, it's going to be a little bit messy because there's a lot of stuff going on the kit. Even with once the backpack is on there, you're gonna have less movement on the body as well. So a lot of fiddling is going to be required. But still, if you like mobile suits with a lot of weapons, this is definitely your go-to kit as well. Anyway, thanks for watching the review. This was the review of the HG Seravee Gundam GN Heavy Weapons Type B, or GNHW/B. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.